if you don't want to use the generic wrapping that comes with the store-bought gift cards, then here's a fun idea for you with Stampin' Up's traditional labels bundle and the Traditions of Christmas suite. This is part 3 of my October 2025 online class. And yeah, it's definitely a little bit more stepped up than my usual usual videos here on my channel. But I thought it's Friday, so let's make it a little bit more fun, a little bit more fancy. But it still comes together pretty quickly. So let me show you how step by step. I already have my stamps mounted and I have a few pieces prepared, and I will walk you through all the bits and pieces. So I have my stamps. I do need one of the labels that goes in the traditional labels die set, and the stamps coordinate with that perfectly. So we can place that aside for a second. So I will need my die with my stamp. Okay, and then I haven't even showed you where is actually the gift card. So, oh, and I actually forgot to grab my inspiration. Just hold on one second. So this was my inspiration. This is a swap card I received from fellow demonstrator Deb Smeek. If you want to check her out, her business name is Delight of My Art, Deb Joy Smeek. You find her under that name on Facebook. I think also here on YouTube. But yeah, this was her swap card, and it's really neat. So it's just a quarter of cardstock, and then she used the branching out labeled branching out dies. They're not labeled dies, but there's a whole a bunch of fun labels. So and she layered that. This is Secret C, basic white on it, and so she kind of tucked that in there, and I thought that was just a really neat idea. And she did some stamping here, so she's a very talented stamper. Go check her out. So that was my inspiration for today. So want to give a shout out to her there. That was so because that inspired me. So what do we have? I have a piece of basic white thick cardstock for my base. That is 4¼ by 5½. Then I have a piece of basic white that I embossed with the traditional Re 3D embossing folder that is part of this Traditions of Christmas suite. You will find that on Stampin' Up on pages 22 and 23 in a Stampin' Up September December mini catalog. Well, that was a mouthful, but yeah, that's where it is. And as you can see, it's like a 6x6 folder, so it's really large, and but it's very, very pretty. So as you can see, even if you do your full card front, you know, it's going to be bigger than that. But anyway, so this is cut to 4 by 5¼ Then I die cut the third, I think it was the third largest from the branching out dies. And then I have a piece of the designer series paper from the Traditions of Christmas suite. So this is the front, and that's the back, and I will show you how to cut it, and I have one or two tips there for you. I have some basic white to die cut my label. Then I went ahead and I die cut because there's a fun set of dies in this suite that coordinates with the designer series paper. So again, I shared a card on in part number 2 of this online class. I'll link it right here and also at the end of this video. So if you want to keep watching this tutorial, which I highly recommend, you can watch the other one if you missed it right after this. So anyways, I used the Christmas greenery dies. There's a coordinating stamp set, but I just have the die. So and I will do this die cutting for you for these parts if you decide to get my free card class kit. And then I have some ribbon, and I'm gonna need some twine. So, but one thing at a time. So let's assemble a little bit of the card first. So let's focus on that. So I have this piece here. This is 3 by 4 inches. So you would get, let's see, is it 12 out of this? 12 out of 12 by 12 sheet. I think it's 9 or 12. I can't think right now. So, but let me show you how to cut it to create this pocket. So again, I haven't even showed you. So I'm just too excited to sharing this project with you. So I actually made it into a gift card holder. So it pulls out like this. And as you can see, we even have a little secret message there, or a hidden message, not a secret message. where you know, and you could write here on the card on the back if you wanted to. So, and then just to kind of decorate my label there a little bit, and then here on the back we have our gift card. So, and we'll be using up some scraps there as well. Okay, so that is my card idea. Okay, so I'll place that up here. This video is definitely going to be a little bit longer than our usual, like, I don't know, between 15 and 20 minutes. So just bear with me, but it's worth it. Now, the first decision you have to make is when you cut your designer's newspaper to 3x4 is which design you want at the front, if it has a direction. If it doesn't have a direction, it doesn't matter. But like for this side, it doesn't matter. But if you have like whatever side you want at the front, you want to make the cut like this. So hold it like you would want that pattern to show. I hope this makes sense. So I want this to go this way, so I have more of the poinsettia showing. So I'm going to cut my paper like this. And all you need to do is you line it up in whatever paper trimmer you have, just corner to corner. So just give me a second. I don't want to screw this up. So we're just going to cut that in half. And now we have our two pieces. And as you can see, that's why it's important, you know, which side you want to show, to be at the front and which one in the back. Okay, so, but that's all the extra trimming we have to do, I think, for now. So we can do a little bit of assembling now. Let's stamp our sentiment here in the middle first. I'm going to go with Old Olive. And I'm going to stamp that just for you, just right up here. So it's still visible. Well, let's see, maybe I'll go with that. It gives me a little bit of more room. So you don't have to use these just for making tags. This just for you. I thought it was just perfect there in the middle. Okay, so that's all we need the Old Olive for, so I can get that out of the way. Okay, so now we're going to glue down our pieces here. Now you don't want to spread, of course, to make it a pocket. You don't want to spread your adhesive everywhere. So I like to bring in my mat here. And we're going to put some adhesive down here. And down here, all the way to the edge. And then we're going to line this up here on our basic white embossed layer. Okay, so if you need to wiggle a little bit, you can do that now. All right, so you want to make sure you don't have adhesive here. Okay, and then we'll just repeat that, flipping our paper over and doing the same thing just with the opposite piece. So now for this one, you want to make sure that you have adhesive all the way to the corners. Of course, you could use liquid glue, but just for the purpose of this video, this is a little bit easier to maneuver. Okay, so if you need to, just pick it up, line it up. And I just love how much of a, you know, it's like a gift with a gift. I do like to gift cards so people can get whatever they want at their favorite places, restaurants, and so on. And I just grabbed into my ink pad. And then we can glue this down, and I'll be using some Tombow glue for that. So yeah, I love to gift cards, but I don't like the generic kind of packaging that you get. I mean, yeah, there's some fun cards sometimes, but hey, I'm a paper crafter, so I should make my own, so that it's actually even more of a gift. Oop, I think I got a little bit off there, so let's push that up. All right, and now this goes on to our card base. Of course, if you wanted to, you could make that a full card so that you can actually write a message on the inside. But I just went with Deb's idea to use just a quarter sheet of cardstock there. All right, so our base is done. Well, almost. We still need to put in our label there. Okay, so let me just clean up here a little bit. So then let's go ahead, and I have a piece here of basic white cardstock, and I'm trying to think if it would be easier if I stamped it first. I think, oh, sorry. I think that would be easier. So I'm going to stamp Sending Love and Joy. There's another, the Season's Greetings is also curved to match that, kind of like ribbon banner. So, wow, I think I need to re-ink my Real Red. So, wow, that was a lot of ink now. Okay, so Sending Love and Joy, because I thought it's a little bit easier actually. We'll see if I'm right, to stamp it and then line it up. Sometimes if you just gently, if your die is a little bit curved from using it, then you could just gently tuck it there a little bit. So because now I can line it up how I want it to be. So let's see. I think that looks good. If you hear a small child run in here in a second and I have to pause my video, I just heard my kid and my husband coming back home. So school's out today, so I have to make it work. So, alrighty, I'm just trying to talk over it while they're excited. Yeah. Alright, we'll run that through our die cutting machine, and let's see if I can do it like I did yesterday. I'll just lift it up so I'm not shaking my table too much. Okay, I think we're like at like 10 minutes or so. I'm not sure how much chit chat I did beforehand. Okay, so we got that. All right, perfect. Got our label die cut, because we need to be a little bit smart of how we glue it down, because again, we don't want to glue down our pocket there. So let's flip that over, and let's see if my I'm going to use the small ones. Did you just hear that? Mama, mama. Anyways, so I guess I should make I need a little sign on my door that I can like flip over that I'm busy. All right, she was just too excited to tell me about her milkshake. So, all right, there we go. So now I'm just checking where I might need a little bit more, and I think I could actually get away with, we'll see, putting one down here. That's where the small, yep, that's perfect. That's where the small or the mini, I keep saying small. They're mini dimensionals. So, can you tell I'm focused? That's when I stop talking. I start talking when I'm nervous, but when I'm focused, okay, sometimes I'm focused and nervous. But, okay, let me just pull that into me so I can make sure that I get that on there straight and somewhat even. So I still want them to be able to see the message in there, so I don't want to put it too high, but I do want to make sure I cover up my dimensionals now. So, okay, and I have a little tip for you here in a second. I'll show you about placing this die. And hey, it's a handmade card, so let's not overthink this. Okay, again, I know my hands are sweaty, so I'm gonna just bring in a ruler and push that down. And okay, and now it's done. It's down. No more overthinking. So, but here's my little tip. You get a pretty good balance actually on gluing down your banner here if you keep these can you see these lines here, if you keep them straight. So yep, looks pretty good to me. You can still even when you pull out the gift card, you can still see our little message. All right, so almost done. we can just glue this down since we already die cut that. We can just put some adhesive on there. I'll just be generous all the way down there. Oh, I actually forgot a part. So, well, we can still do that. So I wouldn't pop this up with dimensionals because then it's getting kind of tricky. Oh, let's see how far down. Okay, pretty far down. So we can still punch our hole there. So to make it a little bit easier or more intuitive, I guess, to pull this out, I decided to punch a little notch there for my ribbon. I have this, this is retired. It was the Very Best Trio punch, but I know we have some other like a mini tag punch trio or something as an online exclusive, so you could use that too. If you decide to get my class kit, then I will do this for you, so you don't have to. So I'm just trying to line up my two corners up there and then just punch and hope I got it straight. So these are the kind of punches I usually don't put in my BOGO because I just like to use them. Okay, so let's slide that back in there. Okay, and then we're almost done. Now comes the finicky part. So I have my lovely Mossy Meadow and Gold ribbon. And I'm bringing in some twine. This is from the Modern Christmas. I think it's called Modern Christmas. It's an online exclusive suite. There's this pack of black, white, and gold twisted baker's twine. Love it. So we're going to be using a little bit of that. And so let me bring in my tweezers because what I like to do with these... Oh, before we do that, I need a strip of Designer Series paper. I told you this is going to be a little bit more, a few more steps than usual, but why not? So I have this strip here, and this measures, let's see, about 2 7/8, a little bit shorter, and I think half an inch. So that's perfect for using up those strips. And let me see, I knew I had put some scrap somewhere, so I do need to bring in my trimmer. Okay. So, I know this is exactly half. So, and then just shy of 2 7/8. So, okay. And we're going to glue that down to our back here. So you can decide if you want to do this one or that one. So how about we do this one? That looks fun too. And I'm going to use, here's a little tip, when you do stuff like that for gift cards, then it's always better. And again, you could stamp a message on here. So this is the back. It's always better to have your card in place. So maybe I'll use, here's what we're going to do. So we'll be using that side. And I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive on this side. Did that actually take? I'm not sure. So just a little bit. Sometimes it's a little bit tricky to get this going. But it should be enough to hold your gift card in place. So put your gift card in place. It doesn't need to be perfect, but just where you want it to be. So you have a little bit of that stretch on the Designer Series paper on your scrap, if that makes sense. So that you can actually get it in and out of there. Okay, so I think mine was actually a tiny bit too long. So we'll just snip that off. I'll be honest with you, one of my least favorite things. Let me know in the comments if you do that often, because mine always turns out crooked. So please, bear with me. Snipping like this exact thing, I'm not a big fan of it. I like to have my paper trimmed in advance because, I don't know, maybe it's my bad eyesight or something. Okay, so what I'm talking about, snipping off any excess paper. So this was one of the few lucky instances where it worked out for me, but usually it doesn't. So anyways, now we also have a little bit of weight. Okay, let's finish up this card because the clock is ticking. Okay. But this is something you can use any kind of supplies for making this, and it will just elevate your gift card. Okay, so here's what I like to do. I take my tweezers, and now I bring in my twine, and the twine pieces will also be included in your class kit. I offer them for free for my customers who place an order, Stampin' Up! Order in my Stampin' Up! Store. Your deadline for that is October 6th, so that's Monday. Okay, hold that. And like I said, I have all the details in the link below the video. And if I do have more kits available, I usually have a past class sale. So make sure you're on my email list. And sometimes if I have enough, I actually will share them after that ordering deadline. Then they will be available there on my website as well. So, okay, I'm not too happy with my bow, but I can fix that later. I just wanted to show you that little tip there with using your tweezers. So there you go. I would probably trim that bow a little bit, but I don't want to keep like messing with the bow while this video is running. Okay, and then we can slide that in there. And for a finishing touch to really just knock it out of the ballpark, I guess. I thank you, Deb, for that beautiful idea with having the flowers in there. Let's bring in our iridescent foil jams just one more time and place some here. So I have one on my card down here, and then I have a small one. Do I have some small ones left? Up here. And then I actually put another small one, oops, up here on my flower, on my tag. Okay, there we go. So we have our usual triangle there as well. All right, so again, let me know in the comments if you prefer to have your paper cut perfectly to size before you glue it down, or do you are you good with snipping off excess paper after? I'd really love to know if I'm the only one who really struggles with that and never gets a straight cut. So this was really my one in a million lucky shot at that. So, and I'm happy it turned out that way. Again, if you missed the previous two projects in this online class, I'll link them right here at the end of this video tutorial. And yeah, I hope you found this idea helpful of how to spruce up your, pun intended, spruce up your gift cards for Christmas, or, you know, switch everything out for a birthday card, for example, and an anniversary, whatever you need a, gift card holder for. And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.